Okay, so I know it's been quite some time since I last spoke about One Piece. I know it's been probably like, I don't even know, well over a month's worth of chapters since I've talked about the manga. I'll be honest with you, I've been like slacking on everything, One Piece being one of them in particular, where, you know, I've just been slacking. I have, well, you could call it slacking or whatever. I got a lot of life stuff going on, so it's just kind of been like sucked into the whirlwind of like, hey, there's a million things I got going on, and I know for years upon years already now been just off and on or whatever, but I'm gonna try to get back on course yet again with this video moving forward, because I am caught up to the latest chapter. I want to say it's 919 of One Piece, and boy, we've gotten quite a bit into Wano. I don't feel as though we've really broken incredible ground yet, but it's definitely giving a lot of the legwork. I felt as though some of the chapters in between the last time, I want to say last time I spoke about it was when Luffy and Zoro was about to fight Hawkins, I want to say, or they had just had their little match up there or whatever, the little fight, their little bouts, whatever you want to call it, and then they went their separate ways. I want to say that that's around the point where I had last spoke about One Piece. Since then, it got revealed, we've seen Law, we got a lot of reunions. I think even in the latest chapter, we actually had Luffy and Sanji and all of them finally reunite, so a lot of people are coming back together. We also had a couple of newer things. I felt as though in between these chapters, there was definitely some chapters where it was kind of just like focusing in on building the groundwork for new characters that are being introduced in Wano, similar to pretty much every One Piece arc thus far, where it lays the groundwork of, okay, these are the characters, this is the civilization, this is their life, this is the world building aspect of what Wano is all about, and the people and whatnot. We had a lot more of Tama. I'm glad after a certain point that Tama went on, well, for the time being at the very least, Tama's not going to be directly in things, because it was like, at the end of the day, it's a small kid. She's going to be, as already shown when they, you know, grabbed her and had her in between that lion's teeth on that guy's stomach. Oda always so creative with what he does, but you know, she's just kind of putting them at risk and putting them in danger, because then they gotta try and rescue her and so on and so forth. So I'm glad that she was taken out of the picture. Definitely going to be an important character. Oda does not introduce characters, well, I mean, he's done it once or twice, but in 900 plus chapters, 99% of the time he introduces a character, especially in an arc like this, and the build-up aspect to eventually showcase, you know, hey, they're very important. They'll get introduced and then taken back out, then we'll find out more and more. And with the latest revelation, I wouldn't be surprised if Tama is also in the same vein as like Kinemon and Kanjiro and Raizo and those people of what we learned in the latest chapter, and we'll talk about that in a bit. We also had some other aspects. Honestly, there were some slow bits so far in between all of this. I mean, you could say it's cool, whatever, not saying that it's bad, whatnot, but it was just more building up of this place, Wano, and how vastly different it can be. We had some sumo wrestlers, and we seen that Luffy kind of knocked out pretty much anybody, like Lord Hold'em and the dude before him, the sumo guy. Like, Luffy was just bodying cats out here. So the early entrants at the very least of Wano aren't much, but we've clearly seen how much they're adding. The fact that it was revealed that Captain Jack will be back up in this very soon. He actually arrived in Wano just a few days before Luffy and all them started all this. So Jack is there now, so now we're gonna have a big fight there, and I ain't gonna lie, it's getting me excited. I do really want to see, opposed to like with the Big Mom situation, because the Big Mom situation, when we went to Whole Cake and, you know, the whole arc and the ending of it, trying to get away, it really felt like it was an impossible mission. And granted, while Kaido 100% seems harder than Big Mom, it's just, I'm hoping more with this arc in a very good way, which we have all the Straw Hats now. So now we have our whole crew, we have more people to back us up. I want to see some really good fights and some really good, not necessarily if it's 1v1, it can be. I love that old shonen formula. That's pretty much Bleach's structure, for crying out loud, whereas 1v1s, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I just want to see more bouts of, like, you know, we're in New World now, and I always go back to when Luffy was leaving Dressrosa and he said, yo, I'm tired of running, we can't keep running, when is the time where we fight back? And that's what I want to see definitely coming into this. So the fact that Captain Jack, this monstrosity of a man, this strong dude, has returned and he's back and he's going to be in this arc and he's going to play a big role. I want to see, well, unless like, I don't know, he gets caught up and Kaido catches him and says, "You failed me," and breaks him in half or something. But I want to see like a Zoro versus Captain Jack. I want to see where Zoro would stand on that point. Now, Luffy versus Kaido, I'm gonna be honest, as much as I do want to see something like that at this point, come on. Like, yo, a Gear 4 straight on, head on punch to Big Mom, and Big Mom connected with it, and it did nothing. You know what I'm saying? It did nothing. So I want to see Luffy and like 10,000 other dudes jump Kaido, sure. Or I want to see a creative way where Luffy can face off against Kaido. It's just in a reality. I mean, the dude jumped from the heavens above. You know what I'm saying? He jumped from Sky Pia and survived. And he was like, damn, ain't nothing gonna get rid of this old guy. You know what I'm saying? So Kaido, it's gonna be interesting to see how he's handled. But I do want to see again the Straw Hats. Now that we have, I want to say it's everybody, and including of course we even got extra people like Law, Badass, and Law's crew or whatever. Which having that amount of people, it's not gonna be like last time where, not to down Capone, because Capone's people are cool, whatnot, but Law's people, like, if I'm going into a battle against some really ridiculously strong people, like one of the Emperors, if I'm going to either have Capone or Law, I want Law. I want Law and his whole crew. I mean, just in the latest chapter, again, we saw Law versus Hawkins. Ooh, baby, it was only a small little thing, but man, it seems like Oda's been flirting with a lot of big encounters with this arc so far. Like, we've had, you know, Luffy and Zoro running into Hawkins. We have Law running in, and Law was trying to hide his identity. Like, a lot of really, really cool stuff underneath, again, the building of the story and Wano and how bad it really is and the facade that's being put on and the nasty things some of these people will do. And again, Captain Jack is back, baby. I don't know why. I'm just really, really excited. I think them adding him early on in the Zou arc, when we got to see him in Zou, was a good, if anything, build up and foreshadowing. Granted, he did take an L, but it wasn't like an easy L. It wasn't like, you know, somebody just came in, Arlong just came in and poked him in the eye with his nose and he was down for the count. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was some stuff that Captain Jack went through. And again, I want to see, like, if Captain Jack is pretty much, is he the number one dude? I want to say that is Kaido's right hand man. If he's at that level, which that's getting real close to the upper echelon, or however you pronounce that word, you know, he's to the tippy top, getting there to like admirals and stuff like that. Again, I want to see where Zoro ranks right now. So I do want to see some really cool fights. Again, really awesome that Jack is there. I wouldn't be surprised another 5 to 10 chapters at max we finally run back into him, and that's gonna be a problem. Again, we got Lost people. We just have a really, really cool cast of like damn near everybody that we need to make a really popping arc. Not that, because sometimes One Piece, and you know, again, we've seen examples where the story held its own. I think it definitely shows with this arc in particular, though, when there's not that many of the characters that you really care about on screen. The story was for a couple of chapters here or there, not the entirety of the chapters and whatnot, but it definitely felt a little bit like it would get slower or whatnot. But One Piece still holds its own when it doesn't have the most important characters. Especially, I can name countless arcs of even down to Dressrosa, some of the side characters, a lot of Doflamingo's people, like they had really, really awesome stuff, and it wasn't the most important things in the world. So this arc is kind of juggling that a little bit back and forth. And then of course, let's talk a little bit about the ending of 919. Again, I want to say that's the latest chapter, where we find out about Raizo and Kinemon and Kanjuro and Momonosuke, that they are all time travelers from 20 years ago. They are already dead. In our timeline, these people are dead. So incoming a groundbreaking, potential huge game changer for One Piece, that there's time travel now. These people passed away 20 years ago, which is interesting because that means that certain people got to see certain things, or see certain historical things for that matter, because 20 years ago, you know, crazy stuff was happening. I don't know exactly when Roger died. Being around 20 years ago, a lot of things that went down that set up the structure for what ultimately became the One Piece world. Very, very huge thing. Again, I think there's a possibility even Tom Kurama could be one of those people, like this ghost thing, because honestly, up until now, we just thought Kinemon was a regular living guy. So getting this ghost spirit thing, there's been a lot of mysteries I've noticed about the people of Wano. There's been one thing after another. First, there was the big lie about the relationship between Kinemon and Monosuke. Then now we find out that none of them are even here. They're actually ghosts, or they're actually from 20 years ago. So if there's this type of technology or ability or whatever is happening right now, and it's possible for other things to happen, it could be that whatever's going on right here, because we do know I think it's Kozuki clan. We do know, that clan in particular, the samurai guys, they had a connection with Roger. I'm just saying many things in the One Piece world could be different now because of certain things that's happened. If we introduce time travel is going to be a very interesting thing to explore in One Piece, because I do believe we haven't really had anything to that magnitude of like coming back from 20 years in the past, you know what I'm saying? So very, very exciting stuff, huge stuff for One Piece. I think that's probably one of the biggest things from the past possibly 5 more chapters or whatever. Again, we've had some cool stuff. Hawkins, I wish Oda would stop flirting and just give us one big one, and then we could keep going, because it's like, again, I saw, okay, we got Law, we got Hawkins, it's about to go down, and then Zoro comes brushing by, and even though Law had it on pack, using room and shit, I was just saying, like, there's some pretty cool stuff, some slower stuff. Again, I wasn't really particularly interested, and I felt as though it was somewhat of a waste, even though we're seeing, like, the grunts were like Lord Hold'em and the samurai Uda Shikin. I can't remember his name, to be honest with you, but not samurai, the sumo wrestler, the sumo wrestler guy where he got his hair ponytail cut off, even though that character is being built up. When Zoro said, like, he doesn't necessarily trust that person all the way, gonna be interesting to see what that leads into. Definitely foreshadowing on Oda's part. All around One Piece, this arc Wano, a lot of building up, getting more into this one. Again, it feels as though we're going to be here for a while, and I'm not complaining about that. I think Oda's been doing some cool things to keep it really exciting and entertaining while he's building things up, having these little run-ins with Hawkins, and the introduction that Jack is about to be back, and now this time travel thing, and finding out about Kinemon and all them. He's giving us big chunks of core elements in the midst of chapters that are, again, just building up more about this place called Wano, which world building is one of Oda's strong points of writing, so you can't even really fault that. Honestly, One Piece has been pretty damn awesome lately. Kind of curious what you guys have thought about Wano up until this point. I guess the big question I want to ask, has Wano been living up to the hype thus far? I mean, I think because we have a long way to go, it's still too early to judge it. We know how a One Piece arc normally goes. In the beginning it's slow and it builds everything up, but even amongst it being slow, we've still had some very big elements. Again, I think this 20 years in the past thing with Kinemon and them is going to be interesting to see how it could possibly connect to other characters, and if things in the One Piece world can change. Like, this could change so many things. I just hope he doesn't mess with it too much, because in a story like One Piece, like, if it's a different story that already had, some prior build up of like, yeah, there's been time travel, then it'd be a different thing. But One Piece hasn't had it, and we're 900 plus chapters in. I don't want it to get muddied and then questions and plot holes start appearing because of this, so let's keep it to a bare minimum. And your overall thoughts of One Piece lately. I'm back, hopefully for good this time, talk about One Piece greatness, and we're in Wano, baby. I can't wait for Jack to come back. But that is all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit the bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links, of course, are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Major move, laugh and let the haters lose. We don't give a fuck, virginity intact, cream stack. Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. But now it's whatever, one day I'll be your favorite, but never. No matter how you get it done.